Hello, everybody. This is Bernadette from European Life. Wonderful you are with us today. And it's February, almost March, actually, always spring. So it's one of my favorite times, but it's also a busy time. We are working very much with events coming up, and we see a lot of movement from entrepreneurs, designers, people who wants to do something with this 2023 after these years of, I don't know, Corona on one side, a war in Ukraine. It's, we have to start up, we have to keep going. And now it's the new year, and I can see people are up and running, happy, reaching out, and I'm very excited what's next to come. Now, today, one of the things I really like is the many interesting people we have on this podcast. And today, of all countries, we are going to China, and it's very exciting. Today we're talking to Zhuo Tan, and I'm saying it a little bit slow. I had to practice. And Zhuo is managing director of Design Shanghai. And Design Shanghai, we actually worked for a while now with Design Shanghai, all before Corona, because it's one of the biggest trade shows in Shanghai. I'm going to let her explain, of course, what it's all about, but anybody listening who is a designer, who has something to do with interior designing or textile or furniture, keep listening, because I think one of the inspiring things is that with Design Shanghai and with our podcast today, I saw an opportunity to maybe get people starting on the market in China, which is a big step, but I think later I will explain more, but it gives a lot of opportunities for people here in Europe who likes to go to China or anywhere in the world for that matter. So today, Jo has a very nice background herself. First of all, she's managing director of one of the biggest trade shows in Shanghai. That's a responsibility of its own, but her background is also very interesting. She already 18 years ago, she started in PR in London, and already there she worked for people in UK who want to approach the Chinese market. So that's a long background in entrepreneurship and the Chinese market together. And she have a long list also on sales, in business development, and today she is the managing director of Design Shanghai, and I'm very looking forward to talk to her today. So stay tuned. She's here today. Hey, George, thank you for being here. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, we are actually all waiting for your story because it's such an exciting story. And of course, in Europe and with our listeners, entrepreneurs, business owners, everything coming out of China and maybe even tips or ideas is always very welcome. So I was very proud to announce you today. Now, I told the listeners that you are the managing director of Shanghai Design, right?
Yeah, I'm the managing director of a show called Design Shanghai in China.
Yeah. Now, we worked with Design Shanghai before as media partners. So I saw a lot of images and content. I know a little bit about the show. They actually are, at that time, their show was from Media 10 or 10 Media? Media 10, right?
Yes.
I actually been there in London in the office at that time.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we did. I visited that. I wanted to work with Shanghai Design even more. I wanted to make a magazine for them and showed it around in the world, but that was a long
Brilliant.
time. Yeah, that was fun. And also we do this a lot of times. It's a great way to promote and also to promote in Europe that show. So I was very excited about it. And then COVID came along and I find out that Media 10 was not longer there, but it's now Clarion Events, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So they took over that show, but they have 3 events in China.
Yes, actually, Media 10 sold Design Shanghai before COVID. So my CEO, Mr. Lee Newton, must be on something. He must be looking at the leaves in the teacup, knowing which direction it's going to. So he actually sold Design Shanghai in 2019 in March. And the show was on its peak. It's a wonderful event, and we did the transaction with Claret Events, and then the COVID came. But yeah, it's a very lucky for Media 10, but equally we didn't drop the show even during COVID. So we keep on running the show.
Yeah.
And not only running the 2 shows we are actually managed to launch another new events in the Design Shanghai portfolio. So when Clarion purchased our project, we have 1 show in Design Shanghai, which is the biggest, and we also have a regional show in Beijing. And when they acquired the business, we set up a 3 years plan, have the ambitions to launch another show in Shenzhen before COVID. But when COVID hit us, it didn't stop us. We still plan. Yeah, we still plan everything, and we tried to launch Design Shenzhen in 2021.
Right.
And it didn't happen. 3 days before the show opening, we've been told by the government to shut down the show. It was devastating.
I know. I got that note from the press, of course. So I got the note and saying that the Design Shanghai was cancelled. And actually, I think we all cried. I just wrote him back right away. What about? Oh my goodness, girls, you have to be devastated. And they were so sad and they were so shocked and it was horrible. And also it must be costing a lot. I mean, of course, I'm
a lot.
Like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness, how much stuff do
we
you
are
have?
crying.
You have to cancel. Yeah, that was a lot, really.
Yeah.
So let me to the listeners just to explain a little bit more what Design Shanghai is. I do know that when we worked with you guys before it even was sold, all my best content and all my best images came from Design Shanghai. They had the most beautiful images and the most beautiful posts, and I was very proud to have them there. So tell me a little bit about it. Mostly, what's the target group? Where's it for? What are they doing, etc.?
Sure. So Design Shanghai is a B2B event. On the one side of B is all the top design brands from everywhere, from Italy, France, America, Asia. So it's the furniture, lighting, home accessory, decorate stuff, everything interior designers and architects will need in their project. So that's one side of B. The another side of B of our events is the Chinese architects, interior designers, property developers, hotel groups, dealers, and distributors from all over China who need to buy this kind of product for their work. So it's a B2B trade event. It's been going on for 10 years and it's a 4 days show. During the 4 days, we will attract over 70,000 visitors from all over China into the Shanghai city. So it's a very, very busy show. We've been very lucky to have some of the best design brands launching their business in the show as well.
So to know what kind of design seems to be focused mostly, I know I saw a lot of furniture. I hear you say furniture as well, but that's not the only topic, right? What kind of other design are we talking about? It's all about home interior, or is it also about architecture, like suppliers? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So Design Shanghai has 3 halls. The one hall is for furniture and lighting. It's furniture and lighting and different style. And then this is more for interior designers. And then we have hall 2, where you have material, surface product, kitchen and bathroom. And it's more kind of hardware for architects. And in hall 3, you will have textile, rug, wallpaper, accessories, decorative art. So we try to divide the show in 3 sections to help our visitors to find the product they need easily.
Yeah.
So the mix of product is quite a wide range. So we are hoping Design Shanghai is the platform for Chinese interior designers and architects to come and find everything in their project they need to use. Sometimes we also add on the latest technology, some inspiration from other industry, the latest research on material or trends. Our forum program is amazing, one of the best in the world, I think. We've been very lucky to have some of the top design figures speaking at the show. And then within the 3 halls, we have 3 stages, and doing talks and conversation constantly during the show.
Yeah. So now I can imagine, as I said, that we have a lot of listeners in the design world, by the way, and also in interior industry, interior design industry. Now, you said, okay, we will do anything to have the visitors find the best product and mix them actually. And I was wondering, now, if we are in Europe and you want to go to such an event in China, there's a lot to do. You have to probably have your product there, and you have to.
Yeah.
There are rules everywhere. So, is this something also you help brands with or designers?
Definitely. Yeah, I think the benefit of Design Shanghai is we not only provide the venue, the space, the visitors, we also hold our clients' hands to work through everything in the matter of how to present yourself into the Chinese market. So we will make a suggestion on, for example, you need to have your promotion material in Chinese. For example, if you want to have some catalog, you should translate them in Chinese, and then we will help you to find a translator agent to help you to do that.
Yeah.
And if you have your website in Chinese, that's even better. So a lot of visitors will go to your website to browse your product before they visit the show. It would be very helpful if you can have somebody who speaks the language working on your stand during the show as well. And also, it's almost like a full cycle of consultation for any new brands if they want to enter in the Chinese market. I personally will spend a lot of time for the first time exhibitors talking through the market, different regions, which city they should considering. Should they go online or not? What kind of dealer and agent they need to looking for? And we even put them in contact with some of the good dealers and distributors we already know of to get them to talk to the industry before they actually come physically to the show. And we also pre-promote them using our channels of media partners like you in China. We promote the brands
with them because I love the stories they have, and it's such an exciting adventure. I also think it's a big investment for brands to do it. But on the other hand, of course, there is no guarantee that you get a whole new market, that you get you get buyers there. But I don't think there is a better way to approach a market, to go there, be on such an event, having the help to do it in that way, and especially a country as China, because, well, language most of all, I guess, but also rules and different cultural way of doing business. So it's like the whole package you're offering, right? So I think it's a big adventure. It's probably very expensive, but do you have any examples of young new brands who started their adventure in China on your event and are now big successful in China? Really?
Because I launched the show in the first launch of the events, we had 150 exhibitors, and I would say 80% of them brand new to the market. So we were helping all the new brands. For example, Hey and Tradition, they launched their business to China in 2024 with Design Shanghai. Vicha was already there, but they took a stand. Fritz Hansen was the first contract I signed for the show. And we also have some really unique independent design studios who's taking the opportunity, A, to see the market, and secondly, to have a holiday in Shanghai, because not only they're totally new to the market, some of them never visited China. And it was a very, very wonderful experience to actually bring a group of design brands together with us to enter into the market. And we help them to source the hotel, arrange the shipping for them, get them to translate their material in Chinese. We arrange temporary salespeople, Chinese salespeople, on their stand to work. And it was just a great opportunity, because it's our first show and we want to do so much to help all the exhibitors to have a smooth experience in the show.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. It looks like you well take care of people visiting your show. So I think we should talk to Design Shanghai one day, because we have such great events and always working with the trade shows. We are working closely with trade shows, having events on these trade shows and promote and bring them to the European market. So that something should be there, but that's a whole different podcast anyway. But I was just wondering, in Europe, we always, whatever news comes from China, we have to do with the press, right? So this is what we get. Now, I know from experience, and you probably too, that I don't want to say half of the half of the news is not right, but you just get an image and you don't know what's true or not. Now, one of the things we saw, of course, in the last years was the COVID situation in China. You cannot forget all these people screaming from the windows and being locked up, and even I, in front of my television, was like, "Let them go! You cannot lock them up." I was like, "Oh God, it get me crazy, drive me crazy." But so that said, thanks God that's over. But on the other hand, how's the economy? Is this a good time? Why should people now, if they are going to the Chinese market, is this a good time for them, you think? Or is this maybe it's especially a good time for it? Could be. Tell me a little bit about the economy of China.
I think it's a good time because China don't have the high speed of growth as before. but we still generate 5.2 growth on our GDP, projected by some American authority agent. So if you compare with the rest of the world, the Europe is in recession. Everyone kind of prepare that, and the Asian market is still quite promising. So I think it's still a good time to come to China, and the market, the demand for premium product and a better lifestyle is still there. It hasn't disappeared. People even craving even more after you experience such a horrible time. You're just thinking about life is more important. So you want to spend and you want to make your house beautiful. So for our industry, we actually see a booming industry in the premium luxury furniture sector. Right. I'm sure the other industry has been also affected badly, but for our industry, we actually see the reverse in China. So because my sector is the premium products, the imported European furniture. So it's the rich people and the upper middle class consumers will buy, and they actually demand more and more good product.
Yeah, and I can understand that because you suddenly feel the value of your home, right? If you're locked up that way. We all were, by the way. We were locked up too, so don't worry about it. But I was asking because I traveled during COVID too. But everywhere I come, even the last year in countries where there not that much COVID, for example, Costa Rica, it was not even that bad there. And they all said, we want to have our tourists back. Oh, we want to have our tourists back. Where are the tourists? And I can imagine because a country suffers a lot. If the tourists are not there, they are the spenders. Not all of it, but most countries, China too, of course. So I can imagine that China also is waiting to have their tourists back. That could be a big push to the economy, right?
Absolutely. I think also Chinese are also a massive tourists for other countries because we have a culture of traveling around the world for our holiday. So COVID stopped us for 3 years. As soon as the door is open, you can see the queues in China to apply visa for Europe, for Japan. It's crazy. People really want to get out. So I think attract tourists to come to China is one side, but on the other side, the massive Chinese consumers want to go out China to go to this.
I'm actually Dutch, and I know there are even villages and cities having signs saying we want to have the Chinese back because there are mostly lots of Chinese with the cameras going everywhere. You know, that's of course that it's good. It's an industry. It's important, and so that would be well. I think it's going to be better now. I noticed that a lot of European people are traveling now and already bought their tickets because they want to get out, they want to travel, and they are fed up with all the rules and they just want to take the plane. And I think also because of COVID, I don't know, but I think that making memories is suddenly more important because making memory is actually what it's all about. You know, when you're old and gray, that's what you only have, your memories. All the other thing is a little gone, right? So back to Design Shanghai. I think with the 2023, with COVID behind us, with the world moving again, I think it's a great time actually now to find new markets. And you convinced me that I think China market would be great. So every designer, every luxury brand owner listening today, consider it because it's very important. Just for their information, Design Shanghai is from June 8th up till June 11 in Shanghai. Can you tell me your web? I mean, you get your own page always. Our guests get a sort of page on our website where people can find them. But can you say the website address for Design Shanghai?
It's very easy. www.designshanghai.com.
Well, it doesn't get any easier than that. So that I will definitely motivate everybody to go there and see if this is something for them. I probably will actually be there one day myself.
Great.
Yeah,
Looking forward.
I actually want to talk to you about what kind of possibilities we have for European life, but
Sure.
that's not what it is about. Well, Zhuo, it was a joy to talk to you. It was it's such an inspirational story, and I can imagine that also your personal story, going from China to London, having there your first jobs, and then being back there in China. You sound like a very inspirational international woman. So thank you for being here today and
My pleasure.
and taking the time. So for everybody out there, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, go to our website, which is www.europeanlifemedia.com. And as always, we are back next week. I think we will be on we will be on Mobile World Conferences in Barcelona. We're doing a review there, having a whole team to find out everything for you about telephony. And then we are going to Dubai. So we have a lot of interesting things ahead. For now, Design Shanghai, go there in June, everybody. And we hope to see you there. And for now, I wish you a wonderful weekend. And
Thank you.
we see each other next week.
See you in China.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Do you have a question or a story to share? Please find us at podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com.